Well, hi, everybody. We are live, I think. Welcome, everyone. There's so many people in the chat right now, and there has been for a long time, and they've been chatting. I do go back and read the chats occasionally, by the way, especially when I'm starting a live stream. I'll pop in and see what people are talking about. And then I do go back and reread the chats the next day. So you guys can all hear me, I'm assuming, because nobody's complaining about sound or anything. I have Stella here, by the way. This is Stella, who just shed. She's looking very pretty. I'll show her to you if I can get her to stop being so squirrely. So yeah, I talk about this usually, but as more people jump on. But if you have a question for me, super chat it, or don't. If you just have a general question about your snake, ask the question if you want, and see how people respond in the chat. I won't necessarily see it. If it's something that you really want me to see, then super chat it, and that's how to get me to see it. But if you just want to say something to me, I do read the chats the next day. I read the whole chat, and I can't respond to you at that point because it's just in the chat. But I do read stuff, and it makes me feel warm and fuzzy if you say something. So anyway, that's that. Stella, I'm going to probably let Stella go here shortly and do her own thing because she really wants to. But I wanted to start out the live stream this way. Azara, this is a new hat, relatively new. I had this made. I drove up to Oregon a couple months ago, and I stopped in a small town, and there was a hatter. They're called something. Haberdasher? I don't remember. But anyway, a guy that makes hats, a little shop. And I went in and I was like, I don't think I want to spend the money for a custom made hat. Do you have something that's relatively inexpensive? And he's like, yeah, these straw hats, I can shape them however you want them. And I said, great, make me one that's kind of an outback hat. So it's not like, I don't want a cowboy hat, but I want sort of an outback. So he made me this while I waited. It took about half an hour. He shaped it for me, and we picked out a band. I like it. I'm okay with it. I wish it was a little bit more. I wish it had a little bit more character to it, but I didn't know what to tell him. I'm not like, Danielle, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy birthday, Bob and Kent. Thanks, Danielle. First super chat of the day. I appreciate that. Yesterday was my birthday. We did. I spent my birthday at Snake Discovery doing a meet. Allie just super. Hang on. I was hoping for a bit more colorful hat choice. Hint, hint. Oh no, I know, Allie. Hold on. I'm getting to that. Thanks for the super chat, though. So anyway, this week was the Buildoff at Snake Discovery, of which I participated in, and so that happened on Tuesday was the actual Buildoff event, and then Wednesday we had a meet and greet at Snake Discovery where I met Allie, who just super chatted, and some other delightful people. And hang on, I'm going to show you what I was given on that day, but I just got another super chat and I lost it. George, thanks for the super chat. Hey, Bob, thanks for all the great content you provide. You are very much an inspiration for me and my kids. Thank you. Oh, that's so nice, George. That's really nice to super chat just to say something delightful. I really appreciate that. That's very nice. So, tell you what, I'm going to let Stella. No, I'm not. I'm just going to see what happens. So here's what I got. Amy and Dave bought me this at the Mall of America. It's a new hat. I say it's subtle yet classy. And it's this. And so I wore this at the meet and greet. It's signed by everybody that was at the. Hang on, I'm gonna get Stella. Oh God, Stella. She's going. Okay, yeah, go up. All right. Anyway, signed by everybody. It's really nice. So I wore that for some time yesterday at the meet and greet. I made a video for Patreon with it on. That was fun. And it's subtle. I think it could be worn in pretty much any scenario. With I could dress it down, I could dress it up. It's great. It is a little warm. There's not a lot of ventilation in it. So that's that hat. Okay. Also, speaking of my birthday, and Spencer Lambus from the Royals Project is in. Spencer decided yesterday that he's going to do a sale this week. I got to keep an eye on Stella. So sale this week, starting now through the weekend, 30% off with the code Happy Birthday Bob. So you can say the code to him. You can type it, whatever you want. But Spencer has a morph market, and he has a bunch of really cool snakes. Spencer, will you put in the chat if you have other... I'm assuming that all your snakes are on morph market right now, or if you have anything else that's maybe not on morph market. But if you... I would look at his morph market and see what he's got. 30% off. That's pretty significant with the code Happy Birthday Bob. I love that my birthday can provide everyone with a discount on pretty awesome snake. I'm also curious. I haven't looked at Spencer's morph market for a while, so I'm curious what you've got right now, Spencer. What morphs are we looking at? All right. So what else do we want to talk about? So at the Buildoff, I'm not gonna say much about the Buildoff except Spencer says I have Ultramel babies and hold on. Sorry, hug stricters. I accidentally. I have Ultramel babies and Confusion combo babies that aren't up yet. Okay, good to know. So if you guys message Spencer, the Royals Project, Spencer, will you put your email or however you want them to message you? If they just want to inquire about the Ultramel babies or something, and they're not going through Morph Market. X Turtle 84, your birthday was yesterday too. Happy birthday! We have the same birthday. That's amazing. Thanks for that super chat. Have I missed any other super chats? Oh, you guys, Amy made it. Amy had a little flooding situation, so I wasn't sure if she was going to make it. Amy, I'm adding you right now.
Hi, guys.
Hi. I think your sound is not on. Or maybe I just can't hear you. Maybe my sound's not on. Can you guys hear Amy? This could be a problem because, hang on.
You can hear me?
Okay, Amy, say something to me.
Something to me.
Can you guys hear Amy? Somebody tell me if you can hear her or not. Okay, you do. All right, so hang on a second. Amy, tell people about your flooding situation while I get headphones.
Rude. Well, okay, so we had to wake up at 3:30 this morning to get on an airplane today, guys, and I didn't sleep well on the airplane either. So, and then I got home and I went to work, and then I came home again. I was hanging out with my husband. I was getting ready for this live stream. I came in here and said hi to the early birds and was like, "Hey, chat, see you soon." And then immediately afterwards, my husband was like, there's like a waterfall coming in through the downstairs window. So we've been, just flooding. It's all good. I'm here now. I'm very tired though.
You guys, I am just
Hi friends.
I'm just trying to, let's see. I gotta mess with my speaker situation here for a second.
I took a shower because I was very muddy.
Did that work? Amy, can you say something? Are you talking?
Something? Are you talking?
Still nothing. Oh, man.
Rude.
This could be a problem. I may have to have you call me on my phone if I can't get this worked out. Let's go like this.
Okay.
How about that? Say something, Amy.
Something, Amy.
Oh, that works.
Yay.
Ah, got it.
Hey,
Got
but
it.
no worries, guys. My house is fine. All good.
Oh, good.
But we're good.
Good.
We got it figured out.
Glad your house is
for
fine.
today. For today.
For today. Okay. So, Amy, I'm going to jump you off, and then you will wave your hands wildly at me if I miss a super chat, and I'll bring you on and off. Amy was with me.
Missed any before I got here.
No, I don't think so. I'm gonna look right now.
You guys will tell me, right, if he missed one before I got here.
Yeah, I think we're all good. Okay, I'm taking these headphones off. All right, see you in a minute. Wait, now I can't hear you. Were you just talking again? Oh my gosh.
I'm just joking.
Were you
Somebody in the chat was like, you should play a prank on him and just move your mouth but not say anything. So
that is not nice.
Obliged.
Okay, bye, Amy. Okay. So real hilarious, you guys. So Amy was with me at the Buildoff, and so I'm not going to give away what was going on, but I will say that there was a situation during the pre-Buildoff games that we do, the survival style games, where I had to where we had to reach something without crossing a line, without physically stepping over a line. So the idea was that Clint, who was on my team, is very tall and long. And so if I just held Clint and lowered him to the ground with my arm, he could reach way out there without crossing the line. So that's how we did our challenge. We didn't do it the way that Emily had designed it for us. So that night I was feeling like somebody punched me in the ribs, and I was like, God, what did I do? That's so weird. Then I went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning, and I was like, oh my God, I can't even like hardly move. I don't know what I did. And I told Amy about it. I go, I can't, like, this is ridiculous. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I did yesterday that made me feel like I just got pummeled in the ribs. And she goes, well, you were holding Clint Laidlaw's entire body weight for a while. Could that have something to do with it? And I was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it was. So what are these? Delts, lats? I don't know what the muscle is, but it's right here. Apparently I never use that muscle because I used it for a few minutes yesterday or day before yesterday. And it absolutely is killing me, but I'm going to be fine. So that's that. So I am, I'm drinking water, you guys, and I'm not drinking whiskey today. And I'm going to tell you why. So it's because I am under some stress right now. And, when you are under stress, drinking alcohol is probably not the best thing to do. So I'm going to tell you about this because it's some drama that's happening with the green room right now. And then we're going to move on and just do a regular live stream. But the fact is that the green room is moving soon. I don't know where. So what's happened is apparently the unit that I'm in, I rent this unit from a good friend of mine who's the landlord, and her father built this place a long time ago, and he didn't get it permitted. So the city has found out that there is a unpermitted structure and it has to be torn down. So I just found this out, and I'm not sure, there's couple of issues. I live in Burbank, the Los Angeles area, not the cheapest place in the world to live, for one thing. Also, most landlords are not cool with you having 28 snakes. You know, many aren't cool with you having one snake. So I'm not sure what the solution is, but I wanted to let you guys know because the solution might come from this community. So my point is, if anybody knows anybody that has a unit available, a rental unit, something like that, if you know people who know people, let me know. It's possible that I need to move the green room out of state. I don't know. It's not something that I'm going to solve tonight, so I'm not trying to stress over it too much, but it's a big concern. So anyway, if anybody has any ideas as far as a lead on a place, send me an email or message me. If you already know how to message me somehow, send me a message. You can send me an email at greenroompythons@gmail.com. There, I want to, if you have an idea of a place that I could move, that's when you should send an email. I don't want to get a whole bunch of emails saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry," because it'll just stress me out. So, but I appreciate that. I mean, I know I'm seeing people saying that right here, and I appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of places that I could potentially go. The problem is if I move out of Los Angeles, I work as an actor, and there are a number of places in this country where you can work as a TV and film actor, but not many. So, I don't know how this is going to shake out, but I wanted to mention it so that you guys know what's going on. I don't know what my timeline is, but I don't have a lot of time. Like, it's going to be pretty quick, I think. So anyway, that's the deal. So I don't want to say much more about that because there's not much else to say. So now we're just going to do a live stream. That's why I'm drinking water, though, and not bourbon or scotch or something. So, Lindsay, thanks for the super chat. Hope you find a new place soon. Me too. Thanks. Pleasure to meet you on Wednesday at Snake Discovery. Thanks for introducing me to Angolan pythons. I think I'll get one. Oh, that's so cool, Lindsay. Yeah. So I met Lindsay. We had a nice chat. We were talking about different snakes that she could get. And I mentioned Angolans and then looked them up so I could show her a picture that they really look like Angolan pythons. Look just like ball pythons, but they're a completely different pattern. It just looks like a ball python with a crazy morph. And because there's no morph in ball pythons that has the patterning that an Angolan python has. Angolans are from a little bit further south on the Angola. Am I don't know exactly, but they're a little bit bigger than ball pythons. They act totally differently than ball pythons. But the body type, you'd look at one and go, oh yeah, ball python. So anyway, I recommended that to Lindsay because she wanted a snake that was like a ball python, but eats all the time, guaranteed. So, and they probably will. Yeah. So a lot of people are going to say stuff like this, Jason. I appreciate that. I know. And I know you're kind of joking too, but my landlord is one of my closest friends, and it's not, it's a situation where I'm going to have to be out of here quickly for sure. Anyway, but I know you were more joking when you said that. I get it. Okay. So that's that. That's all I want to say on that right now. I probably will say more about it. I might talk about it a little bit more in on Patreon for the horde of keepers to keep them updated on what's going on. But it is it's causing me to it's causing me more stress than I've dealt with in a long time, and it's good to practice how to deal with stress. And one of the things is don't drink alcohol. So a lot of times people go to alcohol when they're stressed, and I don't think that's the right thing to do. It's also why I'm not drinking coffee. Coffee is something that I drink a lot, and it's better to just be hydrated. Drink water. Robbie, thanks for the super chat. I'm planning on feeding my 345-gram juvenile ball python tonight a small rat for the first time after always feeding him adult mice. Is a small rat too big for his size? No, not at 345. No, you should be fine with a small rat. I mean, different people have different ideas of what small means, but at that size, you can use the rule of feeding your snake 10 to 15% of their body weight. So you take the weight of the snake, you weigh the rodent, and as long as that's 10 to 15%, you're good. Don't use that. Don't use that for adult ball pythons. Don't use that rule for adult snakes because they don't need that much food when they're adults. But when they're a growing snake, like a 345 gram, it's appropriate to use that rule. So there's that. What did I miss off of this? Hang on. That's it. Amy, were you here when? Oh, she just stepped away. When she's back, I'm going to ask her this question. Oh, there she is. Amy, were you here when I showed the hat and talked about the squid hat? Can we talk about this for a second? So hang on. I want to be able to hear you. So
Coffee sounds good, right, guys? Thank you. I'm stressed. I'm tired. I'm probably going to make myself a cup of coffee.
Yeah, coffee is delicious.
But I'm currently drinking Gatorade.
So Amy, this came about.
Oh my God.
This came about from a joke that I was telling you that I thought it would be funny if I had a ridiculous birthday hat at the meet and greet and then just never said anything about my birthday. I just was wearing a stupid hat. And so then you ended up in Minnesota long before me because my flight was canceled. I had to buy a different flight to get out there in time. And Dave Kaufman, who is just a delightful human, picked you up from the airport and took you to the Mall of America to kill time until I got in, which was so nice of him. Tell us how the squid hat came about then while you were at the Mall of America.
Well, we couldn't decide what we wanted to do, although I will say I live in a small town. I don't do a lot of mall shopping. I'm also an apparel decorator by trade, so most of my clothing comes from a catalog. I don't know that much about the Mall of America. So we walked in, we were going to get food, and then I got super distracted because I did not know there were roller coasters inside the Mall of America. So, like a kid in a candy store, I was like, what is that? And I just went running so I could look at it. And Dave, like a golden retriever, followed me. And we're standing on the balcony looking down into this like weird theme park. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's that? And it was like one of those human claw machines where they put you in like a harness and hoist you horizontally over a pit full of giant toys. And then they drop you down and you can like grab the toys like a claw machine.
That's so fun.
Yeah. So Dave and I really wanted to do that, but the line was super duper long. So he was like, well, what should we do instead? And I said, the only thing I could think of that I would need to buy while I'm here is a birthday hat for Bob because he said it would be really fun to wear an absurd birthday hat, but not tell anybody that it was his birthday at the meet and greet. And he was like, that's a great idea. So we were walking around and there's just this store down there by all the roller coasters. It has a bunch of these absurd squid hats. And you did a video with Dave, on his food channel.
On his food channel, yeah.
Where you went to a night market and you ordered some squid at this night market thinking you were going to get like some little like chopped up pieces of squid and they cooked you a whole entire squid.
That's right. That's right. It was super gross.
Dave thought that would be like the perfect hat for you. So
And
we bought it.
It is. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Subtle yet classy.
Subtle yet
Signed by
classy.
all of your friends.
I know. I love it. Thanks for that. Okay. I'm pulling you off.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hug Stricters just sent me a super chat. I'm going to pull this hat off before I read it. And that hat's really warm. Not a hat that you want to have on too long in the summertime. This is more of a summertime hat. Hog Stricters. David says, "Hey Bob, when you do end up finding another place, if you need another pair of hands with moving, I'd be happy to help. I'm not far from Burbank." Dude, thanks so much, David. I appreciate that. I will keep you posted. I will keep everyone posted on this crazy situation. Anyway, the hat was a very nice surprise. I kept on the day of the meet and greet, I kept going into the back room where we did the build off, and Amy kept telling me that I can't go back there. There was like some big surprise happening. I was like, are they rolling out a massive cake or something? Why can't I go back there for so long? But it was just because the hat was sitting on the counter waiting for people to sign it. So I was expelled from that room for a good portion of the day because of that hat. All right, let's do a Q&A, you guys. I've got a Q&A on a pad actually this time. So let's see. Did I get everybody's super chats? I think so. Okay. Holler if I didn't. Holler if I missed a super chat, you guys. Because Amy is doing something else right now. She's kind of in and out. All right. But she did put together everybody's questions for me, which I really appreciate. Jess in sunny Tampa says, "Bob, we love you in Florida. Any planned trips to the Sunshine State?" Yes, I do have a planned trip to the Sunshine State. I will be at Animal Con this year, which is October something. Hang on. I'm going to tell you the exact dates of Animal Con. I'm really excited about it. It is the first weekend of October, the 4th through the 6th. 4th, 5th, and 6th. I think those are the official. Yeah, it must be 4th, 5th, and 6th. For Animal Con, which is in Orlando. Is that right? Orlando? I think so. Somebody correct me if it's not Orlando, but I think it is. So that's going to be really fun. I'm excited to meet people there. I'm excited to see the panels, and I might be on a panel or two. I don't know. They haven't figured those out yet. It's just going to be a great time. Can't wait. I'm just checking on Stella. Oh, she found a hide. She's happy in her hide. I'm surprised she's not. She's usually moving around a lot more than that. Renee says, "Do you keep boys in a separate rack from girls? If so, how far do you separate them?" I do, just because that's how it shakes out, but it's not because I'm trying to keep them separated necessarily. They're fine. They don't need to be separate in separate areas, really. The boys will know that girls are in the room and vice versa, I think. And it doesn't really have an effect. Some people say it does, but I think most people who breed these snakes have all their snakes in the same room, so, and then the next question, do you also do private habitat builds? I don't. I would, but it would be very expensive, and I probably wouldn't do as good a job as somebody else. Although I am happy with my build this year at the Snake Discovery Buildoff. It turned out really nice. I like it. Artful Crow says, "I think I remember that you might have some 3D printed items in some of your enclosures. How have they been holding up?" This is the one. You can't see it very well because the plant light is on it, and I think it's kind of too bright. I don't know if that makes a difference. Probably not. But this is a 3D printed item. It's like a temple with a head on it, and there's a ball python headdress on the human head that's at the top of the temple. It's pretty cool. Holding up great. I've had it for 2 years, maybe something like that. I can't remember. It's holding up great. And hi, Stella, you coming out? Did you see some activity? Hi, hello. That's just me, not food. And I did a 3D printed thing for last year's Buildoff. And then I said I wasn't going to do it again this year because I already did it last year, but I did end up doing it this year. And I'm really happy with the idea, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So wait till you see that. Allie says, saw his build. It's awesome. Hoping to get my hands on it. Yeah. Small handful of people who went to the meet and greet got to get a little sneak peek of the builds at the show. So, I mean, at the meet and greet. So it was cool. Anyway, yeah, those 3D printed items hold up pretty well. Pretty well. Warrior Brood says, when are you going to get a sand boa? You know, I probably won't. I like sand boas. They're cute. But I don't think I want any snake that hides even more than a ball python. So I probably won't. And then they say, more seriously, does Handsome Dan explore his enclosure very often? No, he's not really an explorer. Oh, look at that. He just shed. Cool. I've been gone for a few days, by the way. I just noticed shed in the back of his cage. He's not really an explorer. I don't see him moving around, but he does move to different spots and move to different hides and sits. But he's not someone who paces his cage or anything. Also, when I'm handling my boa, he doesn't seem to like it. That makes sense. When I first got him out, he would explore, but he just sits in my hands now and seems to not want anything to do with me. Any way I could make it easier on him when he's out. You know, that's just socialization stuff. All the same techniques that I talk about for pythons works well with boas too. That's just a matter of them being used to getting socialized. I've got Banjo, my little black-headed python. He's fairly well socialized, but he just shed, and I haven't handled him in about a week or so, maybe more than a week, because he was in shed before I left, and then I've been gone for a while. So I just got back, and I pulled him out of his cage, and he was kind of defensive. He was kind of bumping me, like defensive, and then it took a little while. But he usually is not like that at all. But it's just that he hasn't had any socialization with me for over a week, so that happens sometimes. With any snake, whether it's a boa or python or whatever. Amy, do you want to, before I bring you on stage, would you like to talk about your new snake really quick? Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes. I'm going to take that non-committed answer as a yes. What'd you get at Snake Discovery the other day, Amy?
I broke a promise to myself. So I got myself a nice little broken promise. Definitely said I was not gonna come home with any animals. But man, that little false water cobra was making eyes at me all week.
Amy got a false water cobra, you guys. I'm so jealous, but I'm also so happy because I love false water cobras, and I just don't have the space for one. And so now Amy has one, and I visit Amy a lot. So when I'm in Utah visiting Amy, I can play with a false water cobra. I love it. So that's your only. Excited. It's your only non-ball python species.
It sure is.
Yeah, you're jumping into a new species. Well, so that,
I mean, I do have tortoises and a vinegaroon and an axolotl, but
yeah. But snake species though.
Snake species. It's the only one that's not a ball python.
Right.
I'm very excited.
I'm excited too. It's showing up next week, right? It's going to be shipped to you next week. You want to say what her name is?
Yeah. Okay. So for those of you who are Snake Discovery fans, or maybe even Clint's reptile fans, Emily has this false water cobra who is like the puppiest of all puppy dogs. He's so sweet. His name is Roger. And this is the daughter of Roger that I purchased, so I named her Dodger. Daughter of Roger.
So good. So good. And it's probably a female, but not 100% sure. So I think Dodger works whether it's a male or a female. So congrats, Amy.
Thank you.
All
Very
right, see you
excited.
later. See ya.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited for her. It's really cool. All right. Where are my questions? Here we go. Grab another sip of water there. A little hydration. Got it. Thons asks, do you maintain a day-night cycle in the snake room, and do you handle/socialize the snakes during the day too? Thanks, Martin. So Martin asked that. Yes, to both of those questions. Any snakes that are in tubs, the tubs are clear, so light comes in during the day and goes off at night, and all the cages are on a day-night cycle. This light for the inspector is actually a plant light, so that's on I think 10 hours during the day, maybe 8 or 10, and it goes off at night. And then, yes, I do handle during the day, but I usually am only handling snakes that are already awake during the day. Sometimes some ball pythons are up occasionally during the day, some aren't. So I try to handle the ones that are. I tell people, people with just one snake and they're like, oh, my ball python hides all the time during the day. When do I get to see them? I tell them it's okay occasionally to pull them out of their hide to work with them a little bit during the day if you're just not seeing them at all. But don't do that every day. Like I'm not into waking them up all the time to come and play, Danielle says, I know you've mentioned that you keep the temperature in your house relatively warm, but have you or do you use heat tape for your racks? I've been wondering how it works. Yeah, racks are always equipped with heat tape in the back, so it's just wired that way. They come like that. So, yep, 90-ish in the back and 80-ish in the front, somewhere around there. And it's done with heat tape in racks. Lindsay, let's see. Did I miss something? No. Lindsay says, ceramic heat emitters or deep heat projectors. When I first got reptiles, I went with CHEs as I was worried about the ambient temperature, but now I'm thinking I should switch to deep heat projectors. Also, do deep heat projectors require pulse or dimming thermostats, or can you use on-off kind? I don't know that second question. I don't use deep heat projectors only because I just don't have them. In any cage I use heat, what do you call it? Heat panels. I use heat panels. So I just don't know deep heat projectors well. I do know that they're designed to get into the snake's body, but if you have a snake that's not basking, I don't know how much help it is. Somebody else in the chat or in the comments, if you're watching this later, you can make a comment and tell me tell us what your experience is with deep heat projectors. I know they're good, and I know a lot of people use them. I just don't have experience with them. Stacy sent a super chat. Thanks, Stacy. Do you have a question to go along with that? I appreciate the super chat. Let me know if you got a question that you want to ask. Sarah says she likes deep heat projectors. Yeah. So Lindsay says CHEs are terrible with humidity. Deep heat projectors are a game changer. Yeah. So, a CHE will dry out the cage sometimes. So you got to keep your eye on that. If deep heat projectors do that less, then that's a plus for them. Yeah. So let's see. Jen says, I'm currently using heat bulbs and heat mats for my various animals, but I've thought about switching to deep heat project. Oh, wait, is this the same one? Oh no, it's just a but it is basically the same question. What are my thoughts on deep heat projectors versus the other stuff? I don't use light bulbs. I don't use any CHEs now, but I used to. I have all my cages have heat panels. Any cage that has overhead heat is using a heat panel, but that's not because I don't think the other stuff is good. The only thing I wouldn't use is a lighted heat source because you want the heat on 24/7. Generally, there are some snakes that you might have. You might give them a bit of a cycle, but in general, you want that heat 24 hours, and you want the snake to have a day-night cycle. So, okay, Emily says pre-shed tips. My python is a little under a year old, and he's my first noodle. His first shed with me wasn't great, but was told the first shed after rehoming can cause stress in a bad shed. I can tell he's getting close to shed again. I want him to have the okay. So, sorry, I'm just cutting it a little bit short. How can I set him up? So, just make sure that your humidity is up. You don't have to do anything special if you've got good humidity. If you're between 60 and 80% humidity, and the snake's been living at 60 to 80% humidity, they're probably going to be hydrated enough to have a good shed. Now, if the snake's been living at 40% humidity and you notice they're in shed and you just bump it up really quick, that's probably not going to be enough. And you'll want like a humid hide, sphagnum moss, damp sphagnum moss in a hide for them to crawl around in, or to curl up in, I mean. But, if you're able to just keep them at a decent humidity at all times, 60 to 80%, they'll shed just great. Justin says, I've had my ball python for a little bit now, enough to shed a few times. She sheds in one piece, but it's always wadded into a tight ball, not like those long, dry, snake-shaped ones I see everywhere. Is this normal? Yes, it is normal. That's how it comes off most of the time. Those long, dry ones that you see are often people that have unrolled theirs, and sometimes a shed comes out that way. Like Handsome Dan's came out. Hold on, let's just look at this since we have a fresh shed to look at. Hold on, give me just a minute. So Handsome Dan would have done this a couple days ago because it's dry. I mean, I guess he could have done it yesterday, but it came off looking like this. So that's actually pretty. That's pretty good. It's a full shed, all in one piece, and it looks like it's bunched up a little bit right here. But he could have. So this is the tail, I guess. Yeah, this would be the tail. And it's a little bit bunched up, but he actually did a good job of getting that off, like in a long piece. It could have easily come off rolled up, so it ends up just being a ball, But good job, Handsome Dan. He always does good sheds. Maybe I'll bring him out and we'll take a look at him in a minute. In fact, should we do that? Should I have a snake? I wasn't getting a snake because I thought Stella was going to cause more shenanigans than she is. But she is paying attention, making sure that I'm not feeding. Redbeard Blake, thanks for the super chat. Really enjoy and learn a lot from your videos. Love Kent's Corner. Please be patient with your brother. He seems a special guy. He is a special guy. That's right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoy those videos. Just making sure I didn't miss any other super chats. Oh, Amy, are you flagging me down? Just aggressively flagging me. Hang on, I gotta grab my headphones.
I've been aggressively flagging you for like a solid 2 minutes at this point.
Really? Sorry about that. I was focused on snake shed. I don't know if you saw.
I did see.
Hi, what can I do here for?
Earlier, Stacy Temple sent you a super chat, but didn't have a comment.
Right.
He would like you to know that the baby that she got from you is doing really well, doing
Oh,
great.
good.
His name is the Sundance Kid, and he is in the same room as her Kenyan Sandboa Ziggy.
I love it. That's fantastic. I love hearing that snakes I produce are doing great. Thanks for that. Thanks for the update, Stacy. I appreciate it. All right. Let's put these headphones right there instead of on the floor this time. How about let's just, I mean, I haven't really seen anybody in a while, so well, hi there, Miss Lady. Come here. Here's Delilah. Let's see what Delilah's up to for a little bit. She's looking good. Okay. So while we show Delilah off, let's make sure Stella's doing good. She's just hanging out right now. Now, my guess is at some point she's going to leave that hide and go cause trouble. But ET is asking what morph is Delilah. I get this question every time I show Delilah on video. Delilah is a freeway, but she's also pastel and orange dream. Although her orange dream doesn't really show, but she produces orange dream babies, so that's how we know. But if you buy a pastel freeway, freeway is a combination of yellow belly and asphalt that creates this pattern, and the pastel makes her crazy cool looking. That's what they look like. And I don't know why her orange dream doesn't really show, but that's that. Okay. So let's see. Justin was asking that about the shed. And then I'm learning the very hard way about keeping a white snake. I panic every time I see substrate or poo stain. Tips on keeping her pristine and glowing. You know what I do with Kayada? He also puts hashtag Kayada rules. She really does. What I do with Kayada is I just, if I notice something on her, I just take a little, I have chlorhexidine wipes or F10 wipes or whatever. I just take a little wipe and wipe her down. If I see something on her, I do that with any of my snakes, but with Kayada, it's easier to see stuff, you know. Anne Marie, thanks for the super chat. Bob, are you genetic testing for morph sex on your ball pythons or other snakes? I am genetic testing a few snakes through RGI, who is a new channel sponsor. I just got back results from testing Captain Farrell and Molly Malone. I got those results back. I will share those in a future video. And I'm waiting on results for Kayada. I did a full panel on Kayada just to see what she's hiding because she's an ivory. And those will be coming back shortly. RGI is great. They do cool stuff. Let me just check on. There we go. Okay. Yes. All right. Coulter says, so my super dwarf retic Jormungandr will be 1 in October. I've had him close to 3 months, and in that time he's shed something like 5 times. Did Stella or Echo seem to shed more often than your other snakes? No, they don't. They're on a pretty good schedule about every 6 weeks, and they have been for several years, I think. You know, when a snake is shedding super often, that's a good sign that you might be feeding a little bit more than they need. So check check what you're feeding them and how often, and you might adjust that if they're shedding super often. let's see, where did I? Okay, so here's another super dwarf question. Jared is asking, do you know if there are noticeable differences in the habits between super dwarf and mainland retics? I've heard that retics love soaking in their tubs, but I've never seen my Kalatoa in his water. You know, there probably is, but I don't know what the behavioral differences are. They do like water. You know, Stella here is a Kalatoa, and she has a large water. It's just a Tupperware, a big Tupperware bowl that I put in there for her for water, and she crawls through it. She doesn't spend any time soaking in it. Neither does Echo. They don't curl up in their water bowl, but they do like to crawl through it. And I often walk in there and they're cruising around their cage all wet because they've just dipped through it, you know. So that's what those two do anyway. Phil says, I'm thinking of getting my first ball python. Stupid question. Is there a max length that they get, or does that depend on other things? Also, what's the appropriate startup cost of getting a python, approximate feeding cost per month? Yeah, so these are, you know, as you'll be able to answer these as you watch more content and learn more about the snakes. But they're, you know, max length figure 5 feet, and many ball pythons don't get that long, you know, 4 feet ish for males, let's say, and 5 feet ish for females. I've got one female that's 5.5 feet, you know, so somewhere around there. And, you know, your startup cost, it just depends on what you want to do. I always tell people that they're going to spend probably more money with the equipment that you're going to buy for your snake than you will on the snake. But obviously that depends on what you're spending on your snake, what morph. And then approximate feeding cost, that's an easier one to answer because you're going to feed a little rat if you're getting a baby, and a little rat might be a couple bucks, and you're going to feed it once a week. So $8 to $15, let's say, a month. And then you will, as they get older, the rats will get a little bit more expensive. Maybe you'll spend $3 or $4 on a rat, but you'll feed your snake every 2 weeks. So whatever a medium rat is, or a small rat, when they're an adult, whatever that costs you, a very small handful of dollars times twice a month, let's say. Pretty cheap to feed these animals. I'm just noticing Skyley's asking how the background in the inspector's enclosure holds up. Does the Gorilla Glue hold up as well as spray foam? Yes, it does. It is. Gorilla Glue is the same stuff as spray foam is just foam Gorilla Glue. It's great stuff. Foam is Gorilla Glue that's in spray form. So yeah, holds up great. It's everything's still stuck to it. It's does really well. I like the Gorilla Glue way of doing backgrounds. I did it at Snake Discovery the other day. Okay, Badass Vet Tech says, I would really love to start a bioactive enclosure, but would love to know how to get it started, tips and tricks, what type of soil to use, etc. Yeah, I have a couple videos on bioactive, how that's done. But I'll tell you that I use the BioDudes Terra Firma soil, and I use that because you can set up a bioactive with that soil without putting in a drainage layer. You don't have to do the step of having a drainage layer in there. And so I recommend that soil. You know, get your cleanup crew, your ice pods and springtails and your plants. You know, it's not complicated, but there's a lot to it as far as, you know, the steps and the various things that you need to know. So I've got a couple videos on that you can watch. Jason Smith, thanks for the super chat. Hi, Bob. The Smith clan would love to see a special appearance from Maya, the black-headed python. If not, no worries. Cheers. I tell you what, Maya, the black-headed python, is deep in shed right now. I haven't even seen her. I tried to check in on her when I got back, and she is in shed. So I might be able to provide an appearance by Banjo, the black-headed python, though, because he just shed a couple days ago, and he's looking handsome. I pulled him out of his cage earlier today. and he didn't like it, but but I think I surprised him. Is why. So let's just see how he's doing here. Oh, he's out. Good. This makes it really convenient to do that. Bones Reptiles is asking, where do I find the Discord link? Amy, are you able to... Hi, Amy. Are you able to do that from where you're at?
I just did.
A Discord invite?
On top of it. Yeah, I already did.
Oh, you did?
Right
oh,
there.
Thanks. Oh, you're the best. Oh, look at that. Well done. Okay, let me grab Banjo. Hi, guys. He's just right down here. Hang on. He's getting big fast, this guy. Oh, Banjo. Oh, you're jumpy. You're a little jumpy. Okay. Banjo is a little nervous when we first get him out of his cage, but once he's out, he's good. Once he knows what's going on, he is good. Look at how cool this guy is. Such a cool little snake. It's a good time to spend a few minutes with him. Oh, he just he just touched my the little, I guess this is a Kindle is what I'm using. He touched the Kindle and lost my place. So apparently his face works just like a finger. Where am I at now? Just give me a second, you guys. Oh, found it. Okay. B says, when target training a snake, how do you get them to stop biting the target? I've gotten my children's python to associate the target with food, but I'm worried about her teeny tiny teeth when she tries her best to eat it. Yeah, that's a tricky thing. And I have that challenge also with that snake right there. And you know, what I've been doing, for me, I'm not trying to get them to be a Hollywood trained snake and go everywhere I want them to go. I just want to use it as a food cue. So what I've been doing for Echo and Stella, who have been biting the target more often lately, is rather than making them go up to it and touch it calmly with their nose, I have them follow it a bit. And then right before I think they're going to strike, I give them the rat. I'm not making them touch it. So I'm just kind of cutting that. I'm cutting off the training before they bite. The other thing you could do is just, and I've done this before as well, let them bite it. And then if you're patient enough, you let them unwrap and you try it again. And you just wait till they do the right thing, touching it with their nose. And then you give them the meal. But with Echo and Stella, it takes them so long to unwrap that I just don't even want to deal with it. So that's what I do. Taylor, thanks for the super chat. I just bought my first ball python. He's called Noodles. Well done. Congrats on your new snake. Any tips on handling him at home for the first time? Yeah, give him a couple weeks of acclimating to his new home, and make sure he's eating before you try to handle him for the first time. And then during those couple weeks, you can watch a number of videos on my channel about socializing snakes. And I have a video from a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I think that it's just called What to Do with Your New Ball Python. I think that's what it's called. And that'll help you. But, there are a number of things you can do to socialize your snake without handling them too. So you'll want to incorporate those things as well. Congrats on that new snake, though. Tim's in. Hi, Tim. Tim from Intrepid Exotics is here, you guys. I always like when other content creators join the live. Tim's got a cool channel if you guys haven't seen it. Intrepid Exotics. Let's see where we at. I recently rescued an adult female ball python. This is from Derek, by the way. Recently rescued an adult female ball python who is underweight and extremely defensive. She's bitten me twice and struck many more. I fed her and left her alone, but she's actually bitten me. I'm not sure how to move forward socializing her. Any advice? Those videos that I was just talking about socializing, especially the techniques to use where you're not necessarily handling them, will be helpful. Hanging out near the enclosure without touching her, going in and working in the enclosure without touching her. Using a hook on this snake would probably help, although it sounds like these are defensive bites, not food bites. But then the other thing is, even though you've been bitten and it was probably scary, you've got to just have the mindset that it's not going to cause you actual harm. You might bleed a little bit, but they're not going to do any real damage. And the toughest thing is when somebody gets bit by their snake and then they're afraid of it. And so they're afraid to go in and change water and do anything. So don't be afraid to get bit. Look at the video that I did a video. I don't know what it's called. Somebody else can put it in the chat if they know what it's called. But I did a video where I purposely got bit by 3 different species of python to compare the bites. And that's a good video to watch if you're nervous about getting bit, because the whole point of the video is none of those snakes caused me any real damage. So even though they bit pretty hard. Sinatuli asks, do you have any advice on how to talk to people about snakes to prevent them from killing them in the wild whenever they see them? I've tried to educate, but it's a very emotional topic for people. They especially go after adders in Finland. Yeah, because adders are I think the only venomous snake in Finland. And I'm sure people are very afraid of them. I try to explain to people that I don't try to get people to like snakes, because that's too long of a road to go. I try to explain to people that snakes are not after you. They're not trying to bite you. Their venom is not for you. If we're talking about an adder, a venomous snake, that's for their prey, not for you. And they would rather stay away from you. If it's somebody finding them in their yard, I talk to them about how they can keep the rodents away, set their yard up to keep the rodents away, because that will keep the snakes away. Killing one snake in their yard is not going to keep the snakes away. That snake is there for a reason, and it's probably because there's rodents available, or maybe there's water dripping from a faucet outside that a hose would normally attach to, and the snake knows that they can get water there. So there's certain things that they can do to keep snakes away just by not attracting them. And then it's an animal, just like the animals that have fur that they probably like a lot. And it's good to just remind people of that these are still animals, even though they don't have fur and they don't look like a dog or a cat. Chopping the head off of a snake is the same as chopping the head off a dog or a cat. It's the same thing. These are animals. They're just trying to live their life. That kind of stuff. I say that kind of stuff to those people. Lyra says, one of my favorite ball python behaviors is when they periscope. They look especially cute. Do you find that the tendency to periscope varies from snake to snake? Do they do it more as they get older? I agree with you. I love when it periscopes. It the snake. They don't all do it, and I don't necessarily find that they do it more as they get older. It's just something I have a hand, like I can tell you the snakes in the green room who do it, and I would say more than 50% don't do it. So really, I don't think we really know what it is. My guess is that they're doing it to just get a look around, even though snakes don't see super well. It could be that like they're getting a scent of something on their tongue, and whatever those scent particles are up further here. So they're checking that out, but I don't see them tongue flicking a ton when they're periscoping. It seems like they're just trying to get a look around. And my guess is that's what it is. But some snakes do it and some don't ever do it, from what I've seen. I saw a really cool Madagascar hognose at Snake Discovery doing it yesterday in a cage. It was pretty cute. All right. Forest. Let me just read this for a second because it's a long question. Okay. Forest has a couple of male ball pythons who are about a year old, and when he has them out together, they're, let's see. The largest one always pees when I put them together. He didn't used to do that before. I'm separating them now, but he's still peeing in the playpen when he gets his turn. Is he marking his territory or something else? Yeah. So, I remember you mentioning not letting snakes free roam together, males free roam together, but they're both still rather small, and I don't have any female snakes, so I'm not sure what it could be. Yeah, no, your snakes are sexually mature. You have two sexually mature males that you're putting together, and that probably is marking their territory. I have female snakes, though, that do that also. You know, I usually don't have a problem roaming adult females, but I know that, for instance, Lydia Dietz, if she goes under the couch and there's another female there, she'll probably pee. So I try to have her off on her own. With males, though, males aren't necessarily going to do male combat. And it doesn't really matter that if a female's in the room or not, that doesn't matter. They're just sexually mature males. And if they come across one another, they're going to stress a bit. And that could present itself as peeing. It could just be that they feel stress while during the time that they're in a playpen with another snake. So I just wouldn't have them. I wouldn't have them together. Males become sexually mature a lot faster than females, and even a small 400-gram 1-year-old snake could be sexually mature enough to see another male as a rival. So, they may not at that size, they may not be a great breeder, but they're certainly going to try it. So that's that one. Leah says, we're thinking of moving in a year or so. Not sure if we'll be staying in Nevada or not, but I have the concern of how to move snakes. We currently have 3 ball pythons, and I want to make sure that when we do move, I make the transition as safe and smooth for them as possible. Any suggestions? So, yeah, I mean, it's best to put them in, you can put them all in snake bags for one thing, and then you can use plastic tubs or boxes. You pack them up like as though you were going to ship them in a box and move them in a car that is climate controlled, but you can, and again, you don't want to put a bunch of males in bags in tubs together, but you can put, if it's babies, it doesn't matter, but you could have a big tub with several females, each in their own bag in there. Or you put them in boxes, stuff like that. When the green room moves, which those of you who have joined us recently and didn't hear that whole drama, you can go back to the beginning and watch this, but the green room is moving very soon, and I'm not sure where. So we've got a whole situation here that I'm hoping I can get some leads on something from the community. But when the green room moves, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be putting them all in tubs, and we're probably going to make several trips, get snakes in tubs, get enclosures moved to whatever the new place is going to be, then bring the snakes and put them in their new place. So that's that. I said I wasn't going to mention that again, but I am, just because I want people to know about it so that if there's anyone that might have a solution for where the green room could go, I want to make sure that everyone knows that we're dealing with that right now. So that was okay. Leah also says, follow-up question: when shipping a ball python to a new home, where do you get your snake bags and boxes? From Ship Your Reptiles. You can get all the supplies for shipping from Ship Your Reptiles. They'll send you a box of boxes with the styrofoam stuff that, perfectly cut and everything. So, Alan David 79, thanks for the super chat. My little ones, Catherine and Scarlett, say hi and want to know how many snakes you have. And as Scarlett asked, how to best take care of her ball python in shed. Hi, Catherine and Scarlett. I have around 28 to 30 snakes right now. I have a couple of babies that are going to other people, but some are close to 30 snakes. And if you make sure that your snake's humidity is high enough, so you're mixing water into their substrate and their humidity is high in there, it's nice and humid, the snake will have a really good shed. That's a way to do it. They need to be well hydrated. So they'll drink water. You provide them with fresh water. They'll drink water, but sometimes they don't drink enough water to be really well hydrated, and they just need that humidity. So 60 to 80% is what I keep ball pythons at. Okay. And Leah's third question is, what's your favorite dinosaur? T-Rex. It's T-Rex. A lot of people's favorites. I like a T-Rex. They're cool. They're big and they're cool. And the movies have made them look pretty awesome. Taylor, thanks for the super chat. Can we see the inspector on the live? Maybe. I might be able to pull him out. Let's see where he is. Hi, Stella. I see you there. He's in this hide right now, which is a pretty tough one. We'll see. It's possible. It's possible, Taylor. I'm gonna put Banjo back though. Say goodbye to Banjo, everybody. The other thing right now at the moment, if I open the inspector's enclosure, Stella's going to try to go right in there because she's fascinated by his enclosure. Oh, those lights just shut off. You're welcome, Leah, for answering your questions. Okay. Everybody's saying goodbye to Banjo. Jen from High Vis Python says, bring the green room to Chicago or wherever makes your heart happy, but this should cover packing tape. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, so the tricky thing is, you guys, it's not a matter of just deciding, oh, where do I want to go? It's a matter of finding a place, a specific unit, house, apartment, whatever, that I can rent, because I'm not in a position to buy right now, but I can rent where a landlord will allow snakes. That's the tricky thing. So hopefully it could be in Los Angeles, but it may not be. It may have to be somewhere else. So for those of you who didn't hear this situation, it's a permit scenario with the building that I'm in right now. The building has to come down because it's not properly permitted. Unfortunately, it was built many years ago and they never got the permits for it. So that's the situation. I talk about it more in the beginning of this video, but that is what I'm dealing with right now. Okay, so Wendy says, snake question. I get how they move technically. I've watched and felt how it works. But what I don't get is how they can slither so super fast. Seeing them shoot across the yard is like a magic trick. I know. It's so weird. It's, it's a combination of those muscles, each moving on the belly at the same time. But also, when they shoot across the yard, they're usually doing the side slither thing, whatever that's called. And so it's a combination of both. And fast snakes that can just move without if they're in grass, I'm guessing that they're using a little leverage each time they turn. They're using some leverage on the grass, but if you see a snake in sand, they're still moving fast, but they're kicking sand, as they go. So, Will, thanks for the super chat. Come to New York. I will help you hide the snakes and you can be on Broadway. Yeah. I don't sing, unfortunately. I'm not a good candidate for Broadway, but thanks, Will. I appreciate that. Danielle, thanks for the super chat. My new baby has calmed down so much, but I kind of miss her cute little hisses. I'm glad she's calmed down. I'm glad she's calmed down because she was a pretty vocal snake. There were a number of snakes in that clutch that were pretty vocal. I'm glad she calmed down though. Tara, thanks for the super chat. Scoots. Scoots. Yeah. That's the name of the belly scales is Scoots. And it makes sense because those belly scales are what they scoot around on. Jen, thanks for the super chat. Hi, Bob. It was great meeting you at Snake Discovery yesterday. Great meeting you too, Jen. I got to meet a number of people. It's always fun to meet folks, and that Snake Discovery meet and greet was fun last year. It was fun this year. It's great to chat with people. And we'll be doing that again I think there's going to be a meet and greet at Clint's Reptile Room again this year. I think. And, sorry, you guys. I'm so exhausted. And then, obviously, at Animal Con, there will be plenty of meet and greet scenarios. So I'm excited about all that. Joe, thanks for the super chat. Got a spare room in our big farmhouse in Punky Doodles Corners, Canada, with your name on it. Yes, this is a real place. Punky Doodles Corners. That's the name of where you live. I love it. That's fantastic. Thanks for that, Joe. I don't know if I can bring all my snakes across the border to Canada, but that's what I'm looking for. A spare room in a big farmhouse or a outbuilding in, like a out unit, whatever you call those, mother-in-law type thing. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. Let's see. Where are we at here? Oh, I'm still on Wendy. So Wendy also says, not a snake question. Since we're approaching Halloween season, if you were going to be cast in a classic slasher type movie, would you want to be the slasher or slashee? Like with the kind of over-the-top Tom Savini practical effects. Yeah, definitely the slasher. I've always wanted to be the monster in a horror movie, and I have not gotten to be yet, unfortunately. But every horror director that I have met, I've always told them, hey, make me the bad guy. I really want to be a bad guy in a horror film. Hang on, did I miss something here? I don't think so. Okay. So let's see. The Harpers ask, how do you typically celebrate your birthday? And how has that changed this year with all of your travels? I typically don't celebrate my birthday. Sometimes I happen to be at my sister's house or my parents' house or something, and they want to have a little family thing. And if I'm not houses, I don't really celebrate. I am going to be at my mom's next week. So we'll do a little birthday thing at that time. But this year it was great because my birthday I was at Snake Discovery and I was meeting people, and it was a great birthday celebration. The Harpers also asked, do you have any favorite fictional snake or snake adjacent characters in books or film? Yes, the Anaconda from Anaconda. Watch the Snake Discovery Buildoff for more. Ooh, snap. I just gave a little hint. Okay. Number 3, teapot racing is a popular attraction at UK steampunk festivals. Is it similarly popular at Ren fairs in the US? I would say no. I have heard the term teapot racing, but I don't think I understand what it is. Do you put little wheels on teapots and roll them down a hill? And I've never been to a steampunk, like something that's a specific steampunk event. So I don't know if they do those at steampunk events here. I have heard the word before, though. Tara asks, if you could have just one four-legged reptile, what would it be? It would probably be a monitor of some sort. Like if I had my dream, it would probably be like a Bell's phase lace monitor, maybe. But man, I was snuggling Allie, I can't think of words right now. What's Allie at Snake Discovery? Somebody put it in the I've completely lost the name of that species of large lizard that's not a monitor. It's a tegu. It's a tegu. I thought of it. Did somebody write it? Not yet. Yep, there you go. Amy got it. Warrior Brood got it. Yeah, so Allie the tegu is such a sweetheart, and I love a tegu also. Their tegus are a little bit easier than monitor lizards. They're less problematic as far as the potential danger, you know. They're pretty great. Azara says, how realistic, this is the last question, you guys. How realistic is the rattlesnake venom nail polish from the Shia LaBeouf film Holes? I haven't seen Holes since it came out. I do not remember rattlesnake nail polish. I wish I had read that question before and looked it up so that I could have some sort of answer to that question. What's this all about, you guys? Somebody, oh, Amy knows. Hang on. What's this all about, Amy? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, now I can.
Gotta forget that sometimes my mic turns off. Okay, so in the Shia LaBeouf hit movie Holes.
Mm-hmm.
The like warden of the camp that all of these troubled boys are digging holes at has this rattlesnake venom nail polish, and she puts it on her fingernails and she like blows on him, and then she just scratches some guy right across his face, and it like puffs up and is all
whoa,
yeah,
crazy. That's kind of cool.
That is.
That's really inventive. So she's able to harm people with her fingernails when she puts the rattlesnake nail polish on it.
Yeah, but she says, you know, when it's dry, it's completely harmless, but before it's dry, and then she like slashes them across the face.
Oh, that's interesting. That was going to be what I was going to guess at. Like, would it work when it's dry? But if it's wet still, I've seen a couple super chats here, you guys. I'll get to those in a second. When it's wet, that's probably pretty dangerous. You know, you get like, let's say a spitting cobra spit venom onto a tree and it's still wet, and you rub your freshly cut arm onto that tree, you could probably get a reaction, I would think. Yeah, interesting. Thanks for the explanation, Amy.
You're welcome.
See you later. I love how Amy was just distracted doing something else. Just reading stuff or whatever. Okay, let's see. I see that Justin sent a super chat and Danielle did. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss any before that. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's get back down here. There it is. Justin says, I have a blue-eyed Lucy. Any tips on keeping poo and substrate stains off her? Also, Kayada rules. Yeah, Justin, did you ask that question was that your question on, hang on. Because I answered that already. I'm going to tell you again, but yeah. Wait. Yeah, that you missed it. I answered it already. But thanks for super chatting it, though. That's really nice. Yeah, just take a chlorhexidine wipe or a F10 wipe, or just water on a paper towel and wipe them down when you see it. I do that with all my snakes, but I see it mostly on Kayada because she's white. I see it on Delilah because she's mostly white. The pieds, it's easy to see it on. I just wipe them down with a little veterinary grade disinfectant. Danielle, thanks for the super chat. I'm totally looking for Casitas guest houses for you. Guest house, that's the word I was thinking of. For you in my work downtime. Thank you so much. I get really bored. I'm usually on Morph Market. Helping you helps me. Oh, good. Danielle, thank you. That's really nice. I appreciate that. This is hopefully a situation will come up where somebody's like, oh, Bob needs a place. I know a guy that has a place. Let me talk to him and make sure that he's okay with this YouTube channel living there with these snakes, you know, because most people won't be. And that is the big challenge right now. So, and again, for those of you who didn't hear it in the beginning, I was just saying that if you do have any leads on any place where the green room could potentially go, just shoot me an email, greenroompythons@gmail.com, and or message me or whatever. That would be great, because my guess is that the only solution to this will probably come from this community of wonderful people. It is the largest stress in my life right now, though. Kind of a big stressor. Did I finish all these questions from Patreon? I did. Okay, so those are done. Let's get another snake out. You guys want to see the little pip? Look at this. Here's a little pip. So Amy sent me a box. She mailed me a box of boxes, and this is one of them. Little box, and Pip really likes it. Oh, look at you. Hi, little one. Hi, little one. Are you in shed? It's hard to tell sometimes when she's in shed. Can I see your underbelly real quick? No, I think you're all right. I don't think you're in shed. There's little Pip. She's such a sweet little snake. Love this one. She's great. Sarah says, I would like to be presented with a jewelry box that is actually a tiny snake. Yeah, right? Yeah, Pip's cool. She's getting big. Like she has tripled in size since I got her. And she's still so tiny. Imagine that. She was 3 times smaller than this when I first got her. Cute little snake. Sits on my finger. Well, she's a little finger snake. All right. Such a cutie. Okay, I'm going to put her back. I have a number of snakes to feed tonight. Pip is not on the list, though. This is, right now, I'm out of town a lot. And so I have Lucy coming in and taking care of snakes on some days. But I'm going to try to get 6 or 8 snakes fed that need food tonight. So we're thawing out some rodents. Swish Zors, thanks for the super chat. Quick question. I have a small live cam in my snake enclosure so I can see what he gets up to at night. It has a blinking light. Is this bothersome? You know, it might be. It's probably not the blinking light that would be bothersome, but the signal that the camera gives off, I think snakes can pick up on. And so I like to have cameras outside the enclosure if possible. I just noticed that they spend a lot of time when you put a camera in the enclosure, they spend a lot of time checking it out and looking at it, whatever. I think they're picking up I mean, they'll check out anything new that you put in the enclosure for a little while, but they really focus for a long time on cameras. And I think that there's a wave that they're picking up on. Kent, thanks for the super chat. I sent you a message on Patreon about an option for a place. Oh, thank you. Also, I must have missed out on a pied baby. Will any other babies be available anytime soon? Thanks. Yeah, those pieds went quickly. What happened, Kent, I don't know if you were on the wait list for the last one or not, but I didn't even get halfway through the wait list before they were all snatched up. So that's that situation. There might be more pieds coming if Lydia Dietz lays eggs. But right now, I only have one egg in the incubator from Molly Malone. One egg. I will look for your message on Patreon. I appreciate that. Jen, thanks for this super chat. Bob, if you could please share budget and square footage layout must-haves, it would be really helpful and help us not send you leads that aren't a good fit. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I don't want to spend any more than $2,000. So that's the budget. The green room is an incredibly small space. I have it's a small one bedroom. So just about anything out there is going to be larger than this. And I figure out how to Tetris stuff in here. So those of you who have been here know that it's not big. Amy, you've been here. It's pretty small, yeah?
I have. Yeah, it's really super small.
Yeah.
I was just sitting here chuckling to myself, and you're like, pretty much anything out there is going to be bigger than where I currently am. And I'm just sitting over here laughing. I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Thanks for the confirmation. So I tell people when they come over, I tell people that this is a place where snakes live, and then I figure out how to live around them. So don't worry about size so much, because that will make it work. But must haves, air conditioning, that kind of stuff. Amy, are you signaling me or are you doing something else? You're signaling me.
Yeah.
Hi, hold on.
Hi.
Hi.
Guy's also a landlord that will let him keep the snakes.
That is the must have. That's the key. I mean, pretty much we can work around just about anything. Yeah. Thanks, Amy, for that. We need a property owner that is okay with a professional setup of keeping snakes. That's the thing. And also, by the way, because of that budget that I have, I can't really afford to have a separate facility for the snakes and then a separate facility for me. At least, especially in Los Angeles, I can't. But in most places, I think that would be well over what my budget would be for the whole thing. Just ask build. And are you at Discovery enclosure build? That just happened a couple days ago, if that's what you're talking about, George. And Snake Discovery will have their video out on it in a couple of weeks. I'm going to try to have my video out also in a couple of weeks, if I can. I'm going to try to do some fast editing while I'm visiting my parents. Tim, that's good to know that you found a spot. Moved in 3 years ago, showed the landlord the reptile room so he knew what was here. He hasn't been back since. It's great. That's great. So somebody's saying get the Zillow app. Yeah, no, I understand like how to generally find places. I can find stuff. But it's this special situation of the land. Like I could go through and call 100 landlords on Zillow and they're all going to say reptiles. No, you can't do that. So I'm looking for somebody that knows somebody. That's basically the thing. Okay, I got those super chats. Thanks, you guys, for the concern, and thanks for those of you who are looking and giving ideas and everything. I really appreciate that. That's really helpful. This is a massive weight on my shoulders, and it's really helpful to know that there's this large community of people who care, Jen, horde activated. Yeah. Amy, is that you signaling me? I can't. So it looks like you're just having fun dancing, but you're signaling. What's up?
Pointing at myself. Okay, you just answered George Walker's question about the snake discovery Buildoff, but he was actually asking about your enclosure as in your living space. Like, when do you need to have a new living space?
Oh, I think very soon. I haven't been given the exact timeline, but I think it's 30 days or less. Like, I think it's very soon. I don't have all the details right now. Thanks, Amy, for that. I don't have all the details, you guys. I will. I'll give more details probably on Patreon. I may do another live stream where I talk about it, but I'll give more details on Patreon once I know. This is something that I just came home today and found out. So it was shocking to say the least. Zara's asking what kind of space does Kent need? Good question, Zara. Kent lives with our mom, so which is pretty crazy because mom lives in North Idaho, but he makes the trip down for videos. Tim, you're the best. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so yeah, Kent does not live with me. He just comes in for work. Let's grab another snake. Like, oh, I was going to get Handsome Dan. Since he just shed, he's going to be looking really good. If anybody has any requests of snakes, I know we had the request of the inspector, but I think it's going to be difficult to get him. Somebody, I saw someone ask just in the chat if he's ever shown more signs of respiratory infection. No, he had a respiratory infection like 3 years ago and we knocked it out. It was fine. He does still have that bump on his nose, though, that could potentially be a problem in the future, but we're just keeping our eye on it. Handsome Dan. Hi, pal. Oh, that's me. That's me. Hi, buddy. You see that's my hand? Okay, can I reach around here? There you go. You go hide. He never strikes at me. He struck at me once when I first got him because he didn't know me. But he always seems like he might be a little bit jumpy. Oh, pal, look at how handsome you are. Let's show you off. You had such a good shed, buddy. You had such a good shed. Look at this guy. So somebody was asking I think in my list of questions from the Horde of Keepers about a boa that they hold that doesn't like being held. And I would say that as I call Handsome Dan well socialized, but also he doesn't like to be held. And it's just because of the way that I've worked with him. And that is that I don't usually make him stay with me. Like I'll handle him a little bit. And then if he wants to go somewhere, I usually let him, and he's used to that. So usually when I pull him out, he's just looking for his next place to go, Alan, thanks for the super chat. My wife Liz loves Echo. Oh, thanks. Hi, Liz. I love Echo too. I almost brought, I had Stella out. She's still out, but I had her with me when I started the chat or the live stream. And I almost got Echo because she was out too. I just didn't want to have them both. I didn't want to be dealing with both of them. So maybe I'll look in there and see if she's still roaming around. Fons Holland, thanks for the super chat. Bye, Bob and everyone. Love to be at the live event for the first time, but I have to wake up in 2 hours and go to work. Oh my gosh. Fons, thanks for being here. I know that that's a super late, middle of the night situation for those of you in Europe. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. That always blows my mind when people are willing to like either stay up super late or set their alarm and wake up for the live stream. It's crazy. I feel like I don't give you enough good content on the live stream to make it worth missing sleep. But I appreciate that some of you are willing to miss sleep. It's really nice. Handsome Dan. What a good boy. There you go. There's a good, decent look at that guy. Okay. Let's see. What else do we got here? I got Liz's thing. He wants to be on the hat. The problem is, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let him get on my hat. And then I'm going to take the hat off and set it down. And maybe try to put Stella away. Because I kind of would rather have them not together. I try not to mix species. It's not a huge deal. But I just try not to, if they're different species, I try not to have them meet. Tim's asking what part of the state do you need to stay around? I've got friends in San Diego and Sacramento. So Tim, the situation is that I would love to stay in LA because I work as an actor when that kind of work comes up, but I may have to move out of state in this situation. I don't know. So pretty much anything is up for grabs. Hopefully West Coast, if I had a choice, it would be staying in LA because I have a career here, although my main career now is the channel mixed with just being a touring comic that does these festivals. I get acting work whenever I get acting work, but it's nothing that I really count on. But being in LA would be my first choice, or somewhere close to LA. And then second choice would be like the Seattle area or something like that, because I have lots of family in Seattle. And I'm up there a lot. But I may end up finding something in Colorado, like who knows. So I would much rather have a place that's very close to here where I could just quickly drive all the snakes over, drive the cages, set them up, not have a massive move, but just don't know at this point. This is something that, obviously it's not something that I wanted to talk about, especially because I don't have all the information right now. I just know that the green room has to move. But I also knew that I'm probably not going to solve this on my own. So, I figured I would let you guys know what was going on, just in case anybody has any leads on a place. Yoda the Jedi says, "Hey Bob, when do you ever plan on coming to Australia? Would love to meet you." You know what, Yoda? Australia is on my list, like top on my list, and I will be coming to Australia at some point to look for various pythons. So my thought is this: I've been to the Amazon jungle twice now to find boas in the wild. I kind of have a python channel, though. It's a python-based channel, even though I do have this one lovely boa. And I feel like I need to go, and like if I'm making any other big trips, I need to do a python trip. The problem is, it's not a problem. It's just the difference between a boa trip and a python trip is quite a bit of money. My trips to Suriname are pretty expensive, but a trip to Australia is a lot more expensive. So that's the situation. I do plan on going to Australia, though, and I really want to meet people in Australia. I want to look for pythons there. Dave and I are trying to put together a trip together to Mexico to go to one specific island. We've been talking about it for a while, and but we need a permit to go there from the government. There's a number of things that need to get done, and we just now finally got a hold of the guy that we're supposed to get a hold of to make this happen. Dave's been trying to get a hold of him for several months now, and he hasn't responded. And finally, we both called the guy together from Snake Discovery. We went and stood out in the parking lot and called the guy, and at least got a response. The guy texted back and said that he would call Dave later. So we'll see. Anyway, that whole long story is to say there might be a trip to Mexico in my future, which still there are no pythons in Mexico. But Australia, yeah, I really want to do that. Amy, I agree with you. Utah is beautiful. It's yeah. Find me a place. I'll move in next door. To get rid of your next door neighbor that is kind of annoying. I'll take that house. Okay, buddy. What do you want to do? Let's do this. I'm gonna try to. Oh, he just went in my sleeve. Hold on. Somebody was just asking a question about rats. I'm going to try to answer some questions if I see them. It's challenging to find nice sized rats around my area for my ball pythons. Is 2 rats in a single feed okay? Yeah, it is. It's always best to feed one appropriately sized prey item. But if you have 2 of something, that's really, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Feed what you got. And then when you can get the right size, that's the better way to do it. But I have some snakes that I always feed. Banjo. I'm trying to get him out of my sleep. There we go. Banjo gets about right around 40 grams a week for a meal, and I am thawing out his rodents right now. He's getting his about 37 grams by way of 3 small mice. So, and that's because they're a black-headed python's head mouth doesn't stretch as much as other snakes, so it's better to feed them those smaller meals. And I still feed Banjo once a week. I feed Maya twice a week. So I take her, whatever her weekly intake is going to be, I split it in half for a feeding, and I usually break that up into 2 or 3 quail, chicks, reptilinks, rodents, whatever. That's a different species, though. For ball pythons, best to feed them one appropriately sized meal. But if you don't have it and you can give them 2 of something, give them 2 of something. Okay. So I'm going to have Handsome Dan crawl onto my hat, and then I'm going to try to get Stella back in her cage. So let's do this. Amy, sorry. I didn't mean to hit it without I just hit it. Sorry. the reason I hit it though was because while I do this, do you want to talk about your false water cobra? Because a lot of people who are in right now didn't hear that you got a new false water cobra.
I did. Well, sort of. I don't have her yet. Also, I haven't actually even paid for her yet, so we'll find out. You know, she's super cute though. I really like her, guys. She's really cute. Also, you know what I really want to talk about? Bob and I were joking. We were sitting at the airport like super early this morning, and we were like, this is gonna be the most hilarious live stream ever because it looks like he's doing better now. But he like semi injured himself doing the shenanigans at the reptile expo, or not expo,
I'm just showing you Stella
the
before I
build. Hi, Stella. Um, yes, Will, I am pulling a Will. Yes, I am. I said I wasn't gonna get new snake, and then I did. But we were sitting at the airport this morning, and he was so stiff and sore, and he was like, ugh, ugh, ugh. And I was like falling asleep. I was like, this is gonna be like the most boring live stream ever. I said, you're gonna like pan to me and be like, Amy, entertain the people while I'm getting a new snake. And I'm just gonna be like already snoring with my mouth hanging open, not actually paying attention to the live stream at all. Meanwhile, you're just gonna walk off screen and pass out and not come back because you're gonna be sleeping. And look, there he's gone. See, like we can make this happen. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. My false water cobra is super cute though, guys. Here, hang on. Hang on. I have a picture. I have a picture I can show you. Oh, it's terrible quality.
hang on. Let me try to move you to solo. There you go. Now we can see it. How cute is that
My
snake,
gosh.
you guys? Such a cool snake. All right. Thanks for killing time, Amy, and talking about your. It's not just killing time. You're talking about your snake, and it's really cool. Everybody's excited about it. Okay, I'm pulling you out. This is a great example of handsome Dan. I think I talked earlier about the fact that he doesn't pace his cage. He doesn't roam around much. He finds a spot that he wants to be and he stays. So he climbed onto my hat, got himself settled. I put the hat down and he didn't move off the hat. He stayed right on it while I put Stella away. He's a fairly predictable young man. Okay. I do want to put it back, though, because I'd like to get out one or two more snakes before we end this live stream, which we're probably not super far away from ending at this point. Buddy. Put you back in here. Put you back in here. Sorry, this is just taking a minute. He's got his tail in a precarious situation, and he was trying to pinch himself. There we go. We got it. All right, pal. Get in there. I'm seeing people asking for Anya, Kayada, and Bear. I've got a number of people asking for Anya, though, so maybe that is the snake that I will go for next. Anya is such a cool snake. She's just a really sweet. Hold on, I'm going to do Danielle's super chat real quick right before I get Anya. Danielle said the Horde has decided that we need a compound so we can start a snake cult. This will solve your problem. Problem solved. You know what? That's so funny. You guys, I'm going to tell you my idea for another YouTube channel. I probably won't do it, but I love the idea of somebody deciding that they want to start a cult, but they don't have the, when somebody starts a cult, they're like, oh, I got a vision from God or whatever, and now I'm starting this cult, and either they really thought that they did, they really believe it in the beginning, or maybe they're a charlatan from the beginning. But I wanted to have a YouTube channel of where I'm a guy. It would basically be me, but I'm trying to start a new religion. The channel would be called This Is Not a Cult. But I don't have any message from God. I don't have anything. I'm just like trying to figure out this religion and vlogging it the whole time. So obviously it wouldn't be like, it's not a real thing. But for those of you who saw Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, if you haven't seen it, you should. It's brilliant. Neil Patrick Harris plays Dr. Horrible, and he's trying to get into the evil League of Evil, and he's vlogging it he's vlogging his process of trying to get into the evil League of Evil. I had this idea of, for a guy that's vlogging his process of trying to come up with a new religion. So that was a long story. Sorry about that. The snake cult, the Horde of Keeper snake cult on a compound, totally in line with this idea that I had. How fun would that be, though? If we just had a big property, and there could be people living on the property. It doesn't have to be like a communal living compound necessarily, but it could be a couple different people, and then maybe it's a place where people go for the big snake fest that we would definitely have. That'd be fun. I like it. Oh, we're getting Anya. I'm not getting sidetracked. Let's find Anya. Oh, look at this pretty girl. Oh my goodness. Look at this pretty girl. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm going to show you a great example of something that I was talking about earlier. I just got in there and I saw that she has recently peed and she was sitting in it. So I take a chlorhexidine wipe and I just do this. If they're sitting in their pee, I do it. If I notice that they have poop on them or something on them that needs to be wiped off, I do it. Just a little wipe with, hang on, with veterinary grade disinfectant on it. And if you don't have the wipes pre-made, you just spray some on a paper towel and do it that way. How pretty is Anya? E.T. Anya is not a normal. She's axanthic. She's pastel axanthic, and she's het for pied, but you don't see her. You don't see the het. So what we're seeing is a pastel axanthic, and she is, she looks to me like, I mean, when she was a baby, she was black and white, like looked really black and white. Now she looks more like a sepia tone newspaper, kind of. She's got a little bit of browns coming in. She's still very close to sort of black and white, but she's got those sepia tone browns. So pretty. Such a pretty young lady. Let's get her up here so she's feeling comfortable. One of the most chill snakes from the time that I got her, just right out of FedEx. She was just really cool personality. So, what else do we have? We're going to go a little bit longer for this live stream. I'm done with Patreon questions. I've answered all the super chats. If anybody has any questions that they want to pop into the chat right now, I'm looking at it. David, see you later. Head to work. Amy's got something for me. Hang on. Hi there.
Hi.
What
Hey,
can I
you
do
had
for you?
a couple people asking interesting questions in the chat room earlier today. And
Oh.
some of them you actually saw as I was writing them down. But
Is this
some of
on
them,
Discord, you mean?
no, just right here in the chat.
Oh, right here in the chat.
But,
okay.
yeah. So Evil Nubs wanted to know if there are any benefits to using bioactive substrate instead of other substrates.
Oh, yeah. There is the benefit of the fact that you don't have to do a full clean out all the time. That's a cool benefit. But you got to make sure that you're spot cleaning still. You know, you're cleaning out any poop or pee or shed that you see. And then your cleanup crew that you put in the bioactive, the ice pods and springtails, clean up the little smaller bits and the bacteria and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Sean MC asked, do you give your snakes baths? And then you just demonstrated.
Yeah, I do not bathe them in water because, well, that's not true. I will put the retics in water because they don't stress over it. But ball pythons are not used to just going in water. So, and I know that there are some people that have ball pythons where they will give them the choice and the snake will climb into the water, and that's cool. You know, if your snake does that. But most ball pythons will stress a bit when they go into water. So the only time really that I will put a ball python in water for any amount of time is right before I ship them off. I have the babies soak in a little bit of water, not even enough to cover their whole body, but a little bit of water for about half an hour before they go in the box because I want them really well hydrated. And they usually do fine with that, you know.
Raphael wants to know, what does it mean when my ball python rubs itself against the glass?
Oh, they're just glass surfing. They're not really rubbing themselves again. I mean, technically they are, I guess, but they're just checking out the boundaries. They don't really understand what glass is. And, you know, there's probably an assumption that they can move forward at some point if they keep doing this on the glass. Eventually they'll be able to go through, you know. They're just doing a thing. So
Nice.
there is, you know, snakes do that often. You know, you'll see a snake doing that. It's kind of normal behavior, but if they're doing it all the time, especially during the day, it's a good sign of stress. So that's that.
Okay, here's my question for you. Did you get Jason's super chat?
I don't know. What was it?
Because I don't have it crossed off.
What was it? Say it. I know that. Oh wait, hang on. Oh, here it is. I just see it. Can Echo come out to play? Would love to see how she compares to her sister. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's. So look at this. I bring this. I bring this thing up to my face, and Anya's like, "Ooh, a new thing that I can climb on." Did you have something else to say, Amy?
Yes, I also wanted to remind you earlier you had a couple people ask for the inspector, and you said we could check to see if he can come out.
Oh yeah, it might be tough to pull him out, but I'll try. Give me just a minute, you guys, to put Anya back.
Anya wants to talk to me, Bob. Stop.
I know. And I'll try to get Echo out. It's easier to compare those two if I have them both out at the same time, but it's all right. You guys just saw Stella. Echo is smaller than Stella at this point. They were the same size for a really long time, and then Stella and they eat the same. You know, I give them pretty much the same thing and the same size meal. They get fed on the same day. Give me just 1 second here before I come back. I want to.
1, 2, 3,
I just want to wipe up this pee really quick so I don't put her right back into it.
7, 8, 9, 10. It's been like 10 seconds, guys. I don't think he's coming back in 1 second. I'm just saying. So how's everybody's evenings going? Also, are y'all still chatting? Because, oh, you want me to pretend to be asleep again? Okay. The funny thing is, there have been a couple times I've been sitting here tonight where I've been like actually like almost asleep, like this close. I'm very tired. It was an early day. It was a long day of traveling and making sure my house didn't flood.
Sorry, guys. Thanks for waiting, and Amy, thanks for keeping everyone company. Sarah says, "OMG, I love Dr. Horrible." Right? How great is Dr. Horrible sing along blog, you guys? The ones, those of you who know it. It's been a while. It's been a number of years since that came out, but you can see it on YouTube, and it's what, a 4 or 5 part little series. Very, very short. You're 3-part. It's a 3-parter, and each episode is what, 15 minutes, something like that. Totally worth it. Hang on. Let me see if that goes out. Oh, she is.
It's really great, guys. The music is like phenomenal, plus Felicia Day. Amazing. Nathan Fillion. Neil Patrick Harris. So good. Wonderful singers, all of them. Hi, guys. I did not end up with more free Scotch this trip. No. But you know what? I got a snake. I came home with Bob's dream snake. So it's all good. It's all good.
I'm just trying to figure out what we're talking about. All right, I'm going to show off Echo really quick. Are you done saying what you wanted to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, Amy. All right. So, Jason, here you go. So Echo is smaller than Stella, and we weighed her sister. We weighed Echo's sister at Reach Out Reptiles a few weeks ago, and her sister was about 100 grams less. But then we looked at her brother. We didn't weigh him. We didn't need to, because he's like twice the size, because he gets fed quite a bit more. He's a bigger breeding male, and they're feeding him aggressively during breeding season. So I think Echo's doing well. She's got a really good body condition. As many of you know, she has been thin in the past, where I've looked at her and gone, oh man, she's scrawny. And then we just pump her up with more food. I think she's doing well with the food that she has and the amount of exercise and roaming around that she gets. I've been getting questions. In fact, I think there's a video coming out next week, actually, where I answer some questions, and I think there might be one like this in that video. But I've heard from a few people that talk about their ball pythons being fat and them wanting their snake to get exercise, which for a ball python, that's not really a thing. They don't exercise much. They don't move around a whole lot. So when I let my ball pythons free roam, they might move around the room for a minute, but they're generally going to find a place to lie down, to curl up and go to sleep, somewhere where they feel safe. It's different with reticulated pythons. They do exercise. So they can get some ab work in. They'll do some climbing up and down. They'll cruise all over the place. They're a much more active snake. So within pythons, you've got some that are very active, black-headed pythons, extremely active, and you've got some that aren't. And with the ones that aren't, exercise is not really a part of how you have them lose weight. It's more of a food schedule and feeding type and size, stuff like that. because you can't put a ball python on an exercise wheel, you know. Tim's very right. Retakes are good exercise for people too. Yeah, it's true. Even at this size, just because I chase them around, but once they're bit, you know, the mainland retakes, man, just pulling them out of a cage and trying to manage them is a workout. Big workout. Echo's going to check out this new hat. She hasn't been on this hat yet. Or maybe she has when it's on the hat. They like to crawl onto my hat rack, and they knock the hats down. So she actually probably has been on this hat before. Here's an interesting question, and I can say yes to it. Have you ever seen a snake that looked like Bruce Lee? Yeah. A Vietnamese Blue Beauty, because they have the mask, and Bruce Lee wore a mask. I mean, there are other snakes that have masks, including a false water cobra, but the Vietnamese Blue Beauty is also moves like Bruce Lee. They're super fast and darty and wily, but they've got the mask. And Bruce Lee was Bruce Lee Kato? Didn't he wear a mask in like one of the first TV shows that he was on? I feel like he did. It was before my time though, and probably before a lot of your time. Bones is asking a question. Let's see what it is. Bob, what are the most important factors in your opinion to consider when pairing ball pythons to achieve both genetic diversity and desirable morph outcomes? Well, you know, you figure out what morph you want, and you get a good example of that morph. A lot of times, you know, with a lot of ball python breeders, they just go, you know, they go like, for instance, I want to work with calico, let's say, just as an example. And so they just get a snake that has calico. They don't necessarily get a good example of calico. So I think an important thing when you're talking about the morph is to get a really good example, something that you think is really pretty. I say calico just because I feel like I have a really nice calico in Freya. She's a great example of it, and she's produced some really beautiful calicos. But then genetic diversity, you know, just don't breed snakes that are related. Will give you the most diverse genetics. But we know that with reptiles, it doesn't cause problems right away like it does with mammals. And in the wild, reptiles are often breeding with family members. But if you do it for a number of generations, it can start to cause problems. And from what I've heard, it's better to pair a offspring with a parent than it is to pair two offspring from the same clutch. So like, and I don't actually have the science on that, or where is she going? Oh, she's going up here. I don't know the science on that really. I got to let her go, you guys, because she's wrapped on something now. I'll try to grab her once she gets loose of that. So it's just something that I've heard. But it makes me like, whenever somebody's selling a pair of snakes on Morph Market, like here's a pair of rough scale pythons. They're from the same clutch. I'm only selling the female with the male. You know, a lot of times they'll go, we'll sell the male by themselves, but if you want a female, you have to buy the male also from the same clutch. I don't really want to do that. Like, I don't think I want to buy a male. If I'm buying rough scale pythons, which I would love to at some point, if I'm buying rough scale pythons, even though just in America, that particular species that I'm using as an example is not super diverse, I definitely don't want them from the same clutch and breed them together from the same clutch because of what I've heard about that. Now, if somebody knows more about genetics than myself and you want to tell me that that's wrong, I would appreciate some good information. But I believe that's the case, that breeding snakes from the same clutch is not cool. And it's probably fine for a generation or so. Actually, it's not that it's not going to cause problems right away. Okay, I think we're going to end this. Is there any other snake that anybody wants to see before we put an end to this live stream? Look at this, 140 people. Did you all hit the like button? It'd be great if you hit the like button. Amy wants to jump in really quick. Let me grab my headphones. And if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to the channel, first of all, oh my gosh, thanks for watching the live stream. I think most people that watch these live streams are pretty dedicated to the channel, so I'm guessing you're subscribed. But if you're not, hitting the subscribe button is helpful. Hi, Amy.
Hello.
What's going on? Hi. You're just over there wiggling, doing your little dance to get on stage?
Yeah. Okay, so you've had a couple requests for Kayada, a couple requests for B, and a couple requests for Bear.
Oh, okay. And Danielle's saying
And
Jenny
also
Craig.
Jenny Craig.
Okay. Let's see who's available. Maybe we'll do a couple of quick shots. So okay. B might be okay. All right. Thanks, Amy. Sorry, I was going to say goodbye, but I clicked it. I got fast hands today. So let's do this really fast. Let's see who's available. Here's little B. She is struggling still has some stuck shed. I need to give her a humid hide tomorrow before I leave town. She doesn't always shed very well because she doesn't always eat very well. But look at this body condition. Let me see if I can get it so you guys can see, because there was a video kind of recently, it was a few months ago, that came out where she was super skinny because I was just trying to get her to eat on her own. And now I'm assist feeding her more and she's fattened up. So she's a good body condition now, but she still has some stuck shed. She's always a problem child. She's a struggle. I don't sit there pulling off her shed because I give her enough stress by assist feeding her. So I kind of let her try to get it off herself. But we're going to do a humid hide tomorrow for her. So that's B. That's how she's doing. Bearsley, you're up and out. What great timing. You're already awake. I didn't have to wake you up or anything. Here's Bear. He's ready to go. That's the papa of... Oh, wait, no. This isn't the papa. I was going to say, those of you who recently got snakes from me, those are Captain Farrell's babies, not Bear's. But Bear has been breeding with Lydia Dietz this year, so she has a clutch, and I'm not sure if she will or not. But if she does, they'll be Bears. He's a handsome boy. He's a good guy. I like Bear. Very tolerant. And I think annoyed by human interaction. I would say that's a good way to describe his personality. Whereas you've got Anya that has never cared a bit whether she's in a hide or in somebody's arms. Bear doesn't love to be handled, but he puts up with it well. You know, he doesn't protest too much. Taylor says, I love how many spots he has. Yeah, he's got these little spots. They're little. They look like digital. Oh my gosh, you guys, little box. Can you see that? The ears on top and the nose on the bottom. It looks like a little fox. Pretty cute. And here's, I don't think I've ever looked at the shape of these spots, but look at that perfect. There it is. Look at that perfect, whatever you would call it. It looks like I don't know what you call that design, but yeah, he's got good spots. Okay. That's Bearsley. I'm going to put him back, and we'll see how Kayada's doing. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. You pretty girl. Look at this lady, you guys. Look at this beautiful lady. Amy, do you want to give any commentary on Kayada while we have her out?
Yes, she's so cute. Look at you, baby. You're so cute.
Are you, Amy, are you wearing a crown?
Yes, I am.
Were you wearing that before, or is that new? Because if you were wearing it before and I didn't notice, I'm going to feel really bad.
I've been wearing this the whole time.
That's not true. You're lying to me.
Yeah.
You're lying to me.
I am. I'm freezing though, so it was just sitting here on my desk. I bought it at the Renaissance Fair.
Oh, okay. So a crown and a blanket. Perfect.
Yep.
And here's one of your favorite snakes.
Yeah, I know. It's just so cute.
Red Fantasy, she is not a blue-eyed Lucy. She's a black-eyed leucistic. She's an ivory. So that's super yellow belly. And we don't usually call them black-eyed leucistics, but they basically are. They end up oftentimes having a yellow line down their back that's very faint. And hers, you can barely see. You won't be able to see it on camera. I can barely see it. But otherwise, they're all white and they have black eyes. And this one has such a cute face. Her head shape is really cute.
She has the cutest face. I love her so much.
I can barely hear you through my headphones. All right. Putting her back.
Bye, Kayada. Hi, guys. I don't really have a lot more to say. I need the biggest pile of blankets, Leah, and I mean, this is one of 3 that's sitting here, so I'm not like, it's fine. You can never have too many blankets, though, right?
Hi, guys. Sorry. I'm focused on trying to get Echo back. Oh, man. It's not going to happen. She's in food mode right now. She's trying to hunt. And she's all tangled up in a light and some wiring that I have there. So I think we did it, you guys. Amy?
What?
Do you feel like we did it? Was there anything that was missed here?
A couple people requested Jenny Craig.
Oh, Jenny Craig. We can do that really fast. She's right here. Oh, she's in shed. Oh, my goodness. Hey, lady. Oh, you're okay. You're in such shed.
I really hope my husband is watching this right now and can see the chat, because so many people are agreeing with me that you can never have too many blankets. But I think he thinks I definitely have too many blankets.
Well, you look very regal with the blanket that you have on right now. So here's Jenny Craig. I'm going to put her back, though, because she does not want to hang out. She's in super shed. That's the thing. When I haven't seen my snakes in a few days, I don't know who's in shed. I always get reports on who recently shed from Lucy, but I don't ever know who's in shed. You know what I do though, you guys? Here's a little pro tip for those of you who have about the same size group of snakes as I do. I have little clippies. I take little white clippies and I put them on their tub when they're in shed. That tells me they're in shed. And if they come up for feeding on that day, I don't necessarily try to feed them. So it just reminds me who's in shed. All right, you guys. Thanks for being on here. You guys are fantastic. You've made me feel better. I was stressing a lot today, and I'm sure I will be stressed again. But thanks for letting me tell you about the situation. Thanks for your ideas. And thanks for hanging out with me. It's fun to just hang out and do a live stream.
Sarah
All right.
posted
Do
something
you have a
really
thing to say, Amy?
interesting for you.
Okay. What's that?
I forget you can't hear me. Everybody
Yeah.
else can hear me.
I know.
Sarah posted something really interesting for you in the moderator chat on Discord
Oh, okay.
in regards to the
The thing.
situation.
Cool. Okay. I will look at that. Thank you. All right, you guys. I'm ending this. I will see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Love you guys. Bye.